Louis Pasteur was the creator of first vaccine for rabies, a deadly disease caused by dog bites with rabies disease. Louis is best known to the general public also for showing how to stop milk and wine from going sour, a process called pasteurization. Louis Pasteur was born on December 27, 1822 in Dole in the Jura region of France. His father Jean Pasteur was a tanner and a veteran of the Napoleonic Wars. Louis Pasteur grew up in the town of Arbois where he later had his house and laboratory. This is today a Pasteur Museum. Louis Pasteur served briefly as a professor of physics at Dijon Lycée in 1848. He became professor of chemistry at Strasbourg University. There he met and courted Marie Laurent, daughter of the rector university on May 29, in 1849. They were married 1849. In 1854 he became the Dean of New College of Science in Lille. In 1856 he became the administrator and direction of scientific studies of the École Normale Supérieure. Louis Pasteur demonstrated that the fermentation process is caused by the growth of microorganisms and that the growth of microorganisms in nutrient broths is not due to spontaneous generation. Today Louis Pasteur is regarded as the father of germ theory and bacteriology together with one Robert Koch. Pasteur also showed that some microorganism contaminated fermenting beverages. To counter these microorganisms, Pasteur invented a process by which liquids such as milk were heated to destroy most bacteria and mold already present in them. This process is known pasteurization. Louis Pasteur concluded that microorganisms infected not only liquids but also infected animals and human beings as well. He therefore proposed preventing the entry of harmful microorganisms into the human and animal body. But it was the scientist Joseph Lister who developed antiseptic methods of surgery. In 1865 two parasitic diseases called pebrine and flattery were killing large number of silkworms at Alès. Louis Pasteur after several years of research proved that it was a microbe attacking silkworm eggs which caused the disease and that destroying this microbe within the silkworm nurseries would eradicate the disease. Pasteur also discovered anaerobosis whereby some microorganisms can develop and live without air or oxygen. Pasteur experimented on diseases like chickenpox and cholera. He had prepared vaccine for these diseases. He was able to immune the animals by injecting vaccine. In the year 1830 and onwards, Pasteur applied the immunization method to the disease anthrax which infected cattle, successfully. Louis Pasteur's work overcoming the spread of the deadly disease anthrax in cattle won him worldwide recognition. He separated out the bacteria, inactivated them and vaccinated them into the cattle through the blood. The disease stopped spreading and saved the cattle from death. Louis Pasteur established that if the harmful bacteria had to be controlled, the same type of bacteria had to be cultured and inactivated by killing them and let into the sick through the blood. This process is preparation of vaccines and inoculation. To prove the efficacy of his discovery, Pasteur vaccinated a few diseased sheep in France in 1881. The vaccinated cattle survived while the unvaccinated sheep died. The most outstanding discovery of Louis Pasteur is the anti-rabies treatment. People of his time believed that dog bite is incurable and that the dog-bitten animal or human being had to die miserably. People would burn the bitten portion of the human being by means of a burning iron rod or cut off the flesh of the bitten portion. Pasteur was determined to put an end to this brutal treatment for rabies. The disease of dog bite is called hydrophobia. Pasteur reared different kinds of dogs, bitches and curs and experimented on them. He discovered that the saliva of dogs contained the harmful microbes which cause the disease. These microbes became activated when they got themselves lodged either in the brain of the person or his vertebral column. Unmindful of the risk he was undertaking, Pasteur sucked into his mouth the saliva of dogs and prepared vaccine. Thus it was Louis Pasteur who produced the first vaccine for rabies and weakening it by drying the affected nerve tissue. The vaccine was first used on a 9-year-old Joseph Meister on July 6, 1885 after the boy was badly bitten by a rabid dog. This was done at some personal risk for Pasteur, since he was not a licensed physician and was liable for being prosecuted. But without any treatment, the boy faced almost certain death from rabies. The treatment proved to be a spectacular success. Pasteur was hailed as a hero. The treatment's success laid the foundations for the manufacture of many other vaccines. Louis Pasteur died on September 28, 1895 near Paris from stroke that had started in the year 1868. He died peacefully while listening to the story of Saint Vincent de Paul, whom he admired and sought to emulate.